ultimately, I broke my planer. I had to figure out something new, and I had to decide, am I going to spend another 300 bucks on a Triton planer, or am I going to get something that I hope will be a little bit better? So that's why I ended up with this Makita. Now this was an old used one. It is about 10 years old. It's the same width, does just about a 7-inch plane. But if I were to buy it brand new, it'd cost $1,000 versus 300. Luckily I found one used, so I only paid 300, but for a 10-year-old model. Let me explain the differences. So this has the chute. This chute on the Triton always got clogged, and you had to keep on picking out all the sawdust that was in it. This can occasionally get clogged, but much less often. So that is much better on this. And I'll show you kind of the speeds of these. This one takes about 3 times as long to plane as this does. So this is much quicker. One of the bigger issues with this is the adjustment wheel. All relies this little tiny pin, and as you can see on mine, it's snapped off. I'll see if you can see in there. But it's just that little tiny screw, set screw. So this clicks so tightly that it has a lot of pressure on that little pin, and eventually mine snapped. So mine became unadjustable, and it became unadjustable at a height that was probably a little bit excessive. I couldn't even tell you what the measurement is, but it's more than I typically take off in one pass. And that led to some other issues. So eventually, because I was trying to take off more than I typically would in a pass, eventually the engine gave out. So I can still operate this, but that's a bad sound. As you can see, it'll try to run, but that's not anywhere close to the number of revolutions it needs to have any effect whatsoever. If I put this on wood, it will not cut a thing. And being 10 years old, you can see that the adjustment knob on this one broke off within a year versus this one that's been around for 10 years and still hasn't broken. So from a quality standpoint, no questions, Makita is a lot better. From a price standpoint, I understand why people go with Triton. Same reason I did. And it's more cost effective. Do you really want to spend $1,000 on a tool? Well, I'm telling you, yes, it's worth it. A third of the time to do the same type of work, and it's going to last you a lot longer. Next, let's talk about the blades. So, I actually just had finished buying some new blades for the Triton planer just before it broke. These are interesting. They're really, really thin, and they're one-time uses. So let me rephrase that. They're not exactly one-time. So they're reversible. So each side has a blade on it. So you use it until the one side's worn out, and then you flip them all and you can use them again. But after that, they're done. Now, the Makita planer, it only has 2 blades, but they're much thicker. And once they're dull, you can take them into any knife shop or saw shop, and they can resharpen them for you. Or if you're good enough and you have the tools, you can do it at home. I don't, so I would have to bring them in. And this is a used pair, so you can see that there's a couple little nicks in it. So these need to be finished again and resharpened before I use them. But the ones that I currently have on the Makita work great. So I have a spare set of blades that I can get resharpened while I'm using. All right, so this is obviously just an old test board, so we'll see how this plays. Would have gone quicker had I not gotten the cord stuck around my foot.
As you can see, the Makita is the clear winner in the overall speed test. It's also my pick for quality and durability. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.